everyone. Welcome to our last school board meeting of 2023. Gotta say, not sorry to see it go. We've had quite the year. So at this time, would you please stand, or would we have roll call, please?
Mrs. DiCaprio, President. Mr. Attway, Vice President.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Smallwood.
Here.
Mr. Wilkerson.
Here.
At this time, can you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready?
We're ready for this.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. For those of you with us in person and those of you watching at home or tape delayed, we appreciate you tuning in. It's always great for the superintendent to stand up at the podium on board meeting nights and keep talking about great things happening in Canfield. And we had another one that I wanted to bring to your attention as well. We received, as you remember, last meeting, a recognition for all 4 of our buildings when it comes to PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. A couple weeks ago, I received this document that says, as a district, district-wide, we received an award for PBIS as well. In order to get that, each building had to get that award, which they did. You know, we had to support some evidence of teams and minutes and progress monitoring of our kids, you know, catching kids doing things great. We submitted an application to get this recognition, which is awesome, and obviously this is the first time in the history of Canfield that this award has been given. So we're extremely proud of that, and over to the right, you can see our small but mighty team of individual staff members in the district that helped bring this to fruition under Mr. Vito's tutelage, and we're very excited and proud of that award. So the question I've been asked a lot since last meeting is, where are we going? What's going on with facilities? So last meeting I talked about if the board was going to move forward in March, we were going to have some special board meetings before tonight. Well, obviously that did not happen. Okay, so as we stand here tonight, the district will not be placing any type of bond issue on the March 2024 ballot. Okay, the first time, the earliest time that the board could decide to put something on the ballot would be November of 24. Okay, and just as a reminder, by us not doing anything in March and waiting until November, there is some bad news. Basically, our ELP agreement with the OFCC will expire. And what that means is basically we're thrown back in the hopper, okay? The OFCC is going to take a look at our cost set. And obviously, as you know, cost sets are going to go up for construction. They're going to redo our enrollment numbers, take a look at that, and also kind of redo our master plan. So moving forward, when we get our 2 new board members in January, the conversation's hopefully going to continue to decide what's next for the Canfield local schools. But as of tonight, that's where we stand. There's been some other awesome things going on across the district, and one of my favorite ones is the lighting of the green from our Canfield Rotary, and Mr. Wilkerson and I are proud members of that group. You can see some of the action that went on with our band and our choirs. In the middle, the school district's represented by a tree itself that we purchased also to support the Rotary. But it's been awesome to see our kids in action over the last couple weeks around the holiday season. In this room, we have had a plethora of awesome holiday performances, and you can see an example of what's been going on. If you're not in the holiday spirit yet, this is where you want to go. Go to our YouTube site, because you can see all of these on video, if you haven't had a chance to do that. And if you want to see something live, you can come tomorrow night, because tomorrow night, the high school band will be in action right here at 7 p.m. But I talk a lot about the 3-legged stool: academics, athletics, and that third one being arts. Nobody does it better than Canfield when it comes to the arts with our band and choir kids. So if you haven't checked them out, go to YouTube, come tomorrow night, see our awesome kids in action. I know I don't need to remind the children about the holiday break, but just to make sure everybody knows, Blake, don't get too excited out there. All right. Just to remind everybody, here's what we got going on. First, so for students, all right, our break starts next Wednesday and runs through Tuesday, January the 2nd. And then all the kids come back on Wednesday, January the 3rd, okay? Our staff gets just about the same thing, all right? We're off on Wednesday the 20th as well through Monday the 1st, but then our staff comes back a day early on Tuesday, January the 2nd for professional development opportunities, and always very excited about having a chance to do that. And my wingman, Mr. Vito, is in charge of putting those dates together for all of our staff members. He and the building principals and our PD committee do a great job of that. So that's the latest on the holiday break. I want to take just a couple minutes to talk about these two gentlemen. Mr. Smallwood and Mr. Wilkerson will be attending their last board meeting tonight. So I just wanted to reminisce a little bit about both of them, if you don't mind. Mr. Smallwood, 1988 graduate and allegedly the older of the two, but they can arm wrestle that one out. Ms. Smallwood's been with us for about 2 years. She took over when Mrs. Klucher left the district, so she had a step down from her board position. Mr. Smallwood did what great board members should do. He educated himself. He asked a lot of questions. He talked to me a lot, talked to our treasurer a lot, read things, went to professional development opportunities, and did what every board member should do. Because a lot of folks don't know what actually goes on this stage, but he did a great job of educating himself before he got going. He served on our finance committee, and he was a great asset, no pun intended, see, finance asset, on that finance committee. His personal, professional background was perfect for that position. I know Ms. Prince and I are going to miss him in that role. And on a personal note, I hope our paths cross again sometime soon on the golf course. All right. So next is Mr. Wilkerson, also 1988 graduate. He's been on the board for 8 years, and that's a long time for a board member. And quite honestly, Mr. Wilkerson helped orchestrate and get the Canfield local schools through a tough time period prior to my arrival. And he did a very good job of helping leading the district through that. He's been on a lot of our committees, policy and finance as well. And I will tell you this, nobody understands school finance any better than this gentleman right here. As crazy as school funding is, he has educated himself to be able to articulate really the needs of Canfield. And it's tough for us because in the eyes of the state, like I've said many times, we're a rich district, which really kind of handcuffs up at times when it comes to school funding. And on a personal note, I owe Mr. Wilkerson a lot. He brought me to Canfield, to be very honest with you. I remember the phone call. I was driving down 619 to McCallum, heading home. I got the call. I pulled over because I didn't want it to drop. And Mr. Wilkerson offered me the job to come here to Canfield to serve as superintendent. So I'm going to forever be in debt to you, sir, for that phone call and for giving me the honor to serve here in Canfield. So with that being said, the other board members and our administrative team have a little gift of appreciation for these two gentlemen. And I'm going to pass that out to them. And if you don't mind, how about a nice round of applause for both of these gentlemen? And it's always great to say happy holidays to everybody. Hope you have a lot of great memories. Spend some time with family and friends. All right, we appreciate you. Thank you.
While he's, is this on? I was just going to say something. While he's kind of transitioning back over here, I just wanted to thank both Mr. Wilkerson and Mr. Smallwood. First to Mr. Wilkerson because he took, he was a part of the gamble of appointing me to the board with everyone that was on at that time. And I remember me diving into this and not necessarily knowing what I was getting myself into, but he was a great mentor and a great guide to make sure that I navigated it appropriately. And it's been quite the challenge, but also very rewarding. So thank you for that mentorship and that guidance, and you'll truly be missed. And I know all of your contributions have been greatly appreciated. And to Bob, I know it's been a short ride, but it's been outstanding, and working with you has been a great experience, and thank you for everything that you've done to help, especially working with you on the facilities committee and navigating through all of that and all the time and meetings that we were at together. It was just a lot of time we got to spend together, so it was great. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be on it.
Would you
Thanks.
like to say anything?
Well, I appreciate the faith that the community put in me over the past 8 years. I mean, it's been challenging. I think probably some of the most challenging times in the kind of the school history. We had COVID. We had the issues prior to Mr. Knoll's arrival. But I feel like we've made a lot of progress. We've done a lot of the things that I kind of hoped we would do with technology. We're in a much different place than we were with security, with transparency. I mean, we're here streaming this, and we've got recordings and all of that, which I think is a good thing. And we did that all without asking for more money from the residents. So I think from that perspective, you know, we did a pretty good job. The only thing that we haven't done that I think is just critical is we haven't dealt with this facilities situation, and I hope that the next board can make some progress there before it's too late. So, but with that, I appreciate it. This was by far the best board that I worked with. I worked with 6 different boards over the past 8 years, which is a little bit crazy, I think. But I appreciate all you guys and everything that we did together. So, thank you.
You know, I've only had a short time on the board, and I came into it with the idea of, you know, wanting to, you know, have an opportunity to help solve that facility situation, and I'm sure it's going to get done. And I'm committed to investing any time I can on the other side and helping any way I can. You know, this is unusual for me to be involved in things like this. I usually just stick to what I do, and you know, I came out of my shell, and you know, I can tell you that you have a wonderful group of people running your school system. Just a tremendous respect for all of them, your board and the administration that you have here in Canfield. You know, when it comes down to you know, the financials and things like that, I can promise you, I came in and did my homework, and I can tell you that, you know, things are in good shape, and everything is done to the best and with the most integrity that you could want in your school district. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. You know, we'll see. Maybe we'll do this again some other day. But I just want to thank all of you for having faith in selecting me to be up here with you, even though it was a short time. It was very viable and you know, a very interesting time of my life. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. I echo what Nader said, and I'm sure Matt, Mr. Campbell does as well. Bob and Dave, I've known you guys since high school. A little sad, but yes, we've known each other a long time. Bob, it's been a pleasure having you and your experience on the board. Couldn't have asked for a better, you know, a better appointee to our board. Dave, it's been a swell 6 years for me. We've gone back and forth, but I couldn't have done it with anybody else. So thank you for everything. Mentoring, teaching, advising, arguing, all in stride. So thank you. Thank you both very much.
I'm going to miss our arguments.
Yes,
Yeah.
as I will. sign. At this time, Mr. Knoll, I think you are done with your update, correct? Okay, we are ready for our principals. Who would like to go first tonight? Can I guess? How about Dr. Pauls?
Thank you very much. I don't know if this is on. Mark Potts, Canfield High School principal. Canfield High School is proud to name Brandon Vallette our Rotary Club Student of the Month for December. Brandon's a member of the varsity swim and dive team, but what most stands out about Brandon is his character. He's always a smile on his face. He can be depended on in any class to give his best effort and to be inclusive of all the students. He's truly a positive asset to Canfield High School student body, and we wish him the best of luck next year where he plans to advance his education at Youngstown State. So congratulations, Brandon.
Congratulations, Brandon.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Judd Rubin. I'm the principal at Canfield Middle School, and I am proud to present Donnie Furco as our 8th grade Rotary Student of the Month. I've talked to some of his teachers. Donnie's been with us through grades 5 through 8, and so I just kind of collect some details and I kind of sum some things up. So Donnie's been one of the most unassuming shining stars in the middle school. He exudes a quiet confidence and never is one to draw attention to himself. I know his character since the beginning, but he had a true setback this summer. Donnie's an exceptional athlete and suffered a serious knee injury last year and wasn't able to play his 8th grade football season. But Donnie went to every practice, he went to every game, he cheered on his teammates, and he was just all about class and and just worked through his injury. So we are glad that he is back on the basketball court. He played a tremendous game last week at home, which we were great to see. So we're just glad he's back. He also takes 2 high school level classes. He's taken Algebra 1 and Physical Science currently. Just a little bit of information. His favorite subject in school is math. He has a brother and a sister. He lives with his mom and dad and a dog named Duchess. They enjoy fishing and camping and outdoors and sports together. He is looking for something maybe in sports or engineering as he gets older. And what he loves to do is hang out with friends, working out, and video games. So we're extremely proud to have Donnie as our Rotary Student of the Month.
Congratulations, Furco family. Glad to have Donnie back on the court.
Good evening. My name is Travis Lavra. I'm the principal at C.H. Campbell Elementary School here in Canfield, and I would like to welcome this month's Rotary Student of the Month, Derek Whitman. Derek has been a student in Canfield since the beginning, and it's been amazing to watch him grow after all these years. His teacher had stated that he is a model of behavior to his peers and the entire student body, and that was very evident even today when I sat beside him at our field trip that we went on. He did an excellent job and was focused and there for the entire show, which was amazing. Now, he also is always willing to lend a hand to others in need and is always willing to put others before himself, which is quite the admirable quality. And most importantly, he accepts responsibility in all aspects of his life and in all that he does. His favorite subject is math, and he absolutely loves basketball and football. I've had the privilege of watching him out on the football field for many years now, and it's always amazing hearing his name called out over the PA system. In addition to that, he would love to go and visit Italy one day, and also hopes to be an NFL or NBA player when he gets older. It is my pleasure to welcome Derek Whitman as our Rotary Student of the Month.
Congratulations, Derek.
Good evening. First of all, I just want to thank the two board members. We appreciate all your support that you've given us throughout the years in helping us with our students and shape their future. Principal Mike Flood, principal of Hilltop Elementary. I have Sophia Kuwick here. What a wonderful girl. I mean, the big thing we teach a lot and we look for over at Hilltop is leaders, and she shows that leadership ability. She's a wonderful student. She gets good grades, always completes assignments on time, and well behaved. She tries to treat others with respect, and the kids look up to her big time. Mr. Knoll, you'll like this one. Her favorite subject is math. She likes to work with numbers and graphs. One thing I learned, she visits a lot of national parks, and she was telling me all about them. A little jealous. I've never seen any of them that she's been through, so pretty amazing. She lives with her mom, dad, and sister, who's a Hilltopper, and has a dog and a cat. One day in the future, she likes to visit France, Italy, and Ireland. And one thing I didn't know was that we have a lot of kids do piano lessons, but next October, she's going to compete for the state championship for piano. So that was pretty neat to see, and she's on the swim team. So Sophia, you're our Rotary Hilltopper of the Month.
Good job, Sophia, and I love your outfit. So cute. Okay, at this time, I have been tasked with reading our student resolutions for this meeting. For those who would like, please feel free. We're just going to get on with the rest of our board meeting. These are student resolutions for December 13th, 2023, resolutions 37-2024 through 77-2024. Volleyball, whereas Lauren Mysek was named first team All-AAC in volleyball, and whereas the Canfield High School boys golf team was named AAC champions, was district qualifier and has an undefeated season. And whereas the boys golf team has displayed good sportsmanship in addition to outstanding athletic ability throughout the 2023-24 season. And whereas Bryce Roberts was named first team All-AAC in boys golf. And whereas Mick Ambrose was named first team All-AAC in boys golf and was player of the year. And whereas Nathan Miller was named first team All-AAC in boys golf. And whereas Nick Beitzel was named first team All-AAC in boys golf. And whereas Simon Kovas was named first team All-AAC in boys golf. And whereas the Canfield High School girls tennis team was named AAC champions. And whereas the girls tennis team has displayed good sportsmanship in addition to outstanding athletic ability throughout the 2023-2024 season. And whereas Whitney Miller was named first team All-AAC in girls tennis and a state qualifier. And whereas Hadley Moser was named first team All-AAC in girls tennis and was player of the year. And whereas Cecira Naluri was named first team All-AAC in girls tennis and was also a state qualifier. And whereas the Canfield High School girls golf team was named AAC season champions and was a district qualifier. And whereas the girls golf team has displayed good sportsmanship in addition to outstanding athletic ability throughout the 2023-2024 season. And whereas Aubrey Philibin was named first team All-AAC in girls golf. And whereas Alex Conley was named first team All-AAC in girls golf. And whereas Mia Kohal was named first team All-AAC in girls golf, and whereas Taylor Maroney was named first team All-AAC in girls golf, and whereas Ethan Mulichak was named first team All-AAC and first team All-District AAC Player of the Year and Division II YDSSA Player of the Year in boys soccer, And whereas Drew Snyder was named first team all AAC and first team all district in boys soccer. And whereas Ryan Dangle was named first team all AAC in boys soccer. And whereas the Canfield High School boys soccer team was named AAC champions, district finalist, and earned a final state ranking number 9 in OSSCA. And whereas the boys soccer team has displayed good sportsmanship in addition to outstanding athletic ability throughout the 2023-2024 season. And whereas Blake Baker was named first team all-conference in boys cross country and was and was a state qualifier. And whereas Alex Hammer was named first team all-conference in boys cross country. And whereas Lauren Runyon was named first team all-conference in girls cross country and was a state qualifier. And whereas Lindsay Plant was named first team all-conference in girls cross country and was a state qualifier. And whereas Sabrina Baskett was named first team all-conference in girls cross country and was also a state qualifier. And whereas Anna Vanetti was a state qualifier in girls cross country. And whereas Mia Gaffney was a state qualifier in girls cross country. And whereas Gianna Gambrell was a state qualifier in girls cross country. And whereas Kaylee Harmon was a state qualifier in girls cross country. And whereas the Canfield High School girls soccer team earned the title AAC champions. And whereas the girls soccer team has displayed good sportsmanship in addition to outstanding athletic ability throughout the 2023-24 season. And whereas Macy Toporser was named first team district in girls soccer, Youngstown District Division II Player of the Year, first team AAC, first team All-Ohio, and earned a single season goal record of 52. And whereas Hannah Wahib was named first team All-AAC, first team All-District in girls soccer, and earned a single season assist record of 21. And whereas Vivian Nora was named first team All-District and first team AAC in girls soccer. And whereas Ava Paris was named first team All-District in girls soccer. And whereas Santino Coca was named first team offense in football. And whereas Vince Lucci was named first team offense in football. And whereas Mike Makovitz was named first team offense in football. And whereas Scott Eaton was named first team offense in football. And whereas Danny Inglis was named first team defense in football. And whereas Anthony Mazzella was named first team defense in football. And whereas Angelo DeLucia was named first team defense in football. And whereas these accomplishments brought honor to themselves, their families, and their school. Therefore, be it resolved that these students be commended for their outstanding accomplishments, and that these resolutions be spread upon the official minutes of the Canfield Board of Education, and that copies be presented to them. And that is quite a list, ladies and gentlemen. Unreal, just unreal. Enough words can't even explain the accolades that are in these 3 pages of print here. So congratulations, young men and young women, and to your coaches and teams as well.
I see some of our cross-country and runners and tennis people.
We have cross-country out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Stand up.
You got tennis out
Come on.
there, too.
Congratulations.
Some tennis.
And tennis.
I see some tennis. We got some
Tennis players, yes, we
Come on,
do.
here we go.
Am I missing anybody else? Who are you missing?
I can't see much farther than you guys, so,
Who else is out there?
right there, we good?
Yeah.
Congratulations, everyone. Great job. Thank you for supporting your schools and doing what you do.
I went down and watched a little cross country at the state meet this year. And that was an awesome experience to watch our folks in action. So it was great. We got a pretty good fall sports season, just for the record, here in Canfield.
We got this an outstanding,
Pretty good fall
all
sports
4
season.
seasons.
Yes,
so
we did.
Good job. Okay, Capital Conference
No,
report.
we have a public participation. Oh, no, sorry, not my fault.
Capital Conference.
Oh, my fault.
Capital Conference reports?
Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you. Thank you, Coach Brown. Yeah, so we had a small group of us that went down to Capitol Conference, and we always give a chance to kind of share out maybe one session or two that we kind of gleaned something from. So I don't know who wanted to go first.
I could
Chat a little
I could
bit.
start.
Mr.
Yeah.
Campbell, you got it?
Yeah,
All right.
the focus, the majority of the meetings that I went to was on leadership at various different levels, you know, in a school district, whether it's, you know, in the board office with the superintendent, treasurer, assistant superintendent, or all the way down to the building level, you know, with the principals and then with teachers and everybody. But the point was, it doesn't matter what role you have or what you serve, whether it's in a school district or if it's in a business or what have you, but, you know, leadership matters. And, you know, the big question was, you know, are leaders born or are they made? And I think that's a pretty cool debate to have, because I think just on a personal level, I think it could be a little bit of both. You know, I think there are awesome leaders out there that you would just say, man, they had to have been born that way. Like, they're just extremely passionate, and they show that leadership at such a young age. But then obviously, you know, through life and different roles that you might serve, you know, I think one can develop into a solid leader too. But it's so important today in whatever we do, whether it's, you know, at the national level or state level or local level. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's in education or any other industry or career pathway, but leadership is so important. And I think it kind of, me mentioning that leadership role and how how important it is, I think it's awesome that we had so many young leaders here in front of us that we just recognized that are obviously setting the tone at such an early age of their life. You know, the first part of their life, you know, being in middle school and elementary school and high school. It's just awesome to see, and it's great that, you know, our community, our school district, you know, generates these future leaders of tomorrow. So that was a session that really stood out that I attended. A couple other ones about relationships and communication, and, you know, once again, more so from a school district's you know, vantage point. It was you know, pretty intriguing to hear different administrators from different school districts across the state of Ohio talk and share what has worked for them, but also you know, things that might not have worked well for them. So, you know, I think of it as, you know, gaining wisdom from maybe other people's mistakes or our mistakes, you know, being self-reflective and seeing what works and what doesn't work, to trying new things, you know. But I think communication is key in anything. So, you know, very positive experience this year attending OSBA, and I appreciate, you know, the opportunity to go down there.
So OSBA conference is always filled with a lot of different sessions for consumption. And being a part of the facilities committee as well as the extracurriculars, I kind of selected topics that were relevant in those areas. And I think the theme of the sessions that I sat in around, you know, how to put out wildfires of misinformation, or, you know, facilities projects and autopsy of a decision, and even just updated levy campaign guidelines for schools. The theme of all of those sessions were twofold. One, from a communication perspective, I felt better because we are not alone of all the school districts in Ohio and probably across the country, how misinformation can get out there, and the approaches to being able to try to tackle that, especially with social media being one of the biggest avenues that present themselves. And I think the takeaway is, as difficult as it is to get everybody to be aligned to the same methods or the multiple modes of communication, is somehow to drive people to the one reliable source. And if that's the school district website or anything coming out of the school district, so that people know that this is where you can find this information. And so just to process the challenges of people that try to put out information and the fires that you need to try to challenge, that can be time consuming. And so if people can recognize, you know, here's where I will go to for my reliable source of information that helps with all of the processing of data that's out there. Now, granted, not everybody communicates the same way, so it's aligning people to understand what the mode of the school district will be relative to trying to, meet everyone's needs and standards in that regards. The updated levy campaign guidelines, what I took away from that, historically, school boards, as well as superintendents and administrators, were always involved in promoting that. Due to a lawsuit that occurred a while back against the school district and the superintendent, that kind of negated all of those efforts. And so that's where levy committees came into play. And so I can't thank enough our levy committee that was involved this past election. And it just shows you that, we kind of had to dial it back in our approach, and especially from an administrator piece. And that's something that's happening across all school districts because of the auditor of state and their guidelines. So that's quite the challenge, because you just want to be an advocate and you want to be able to be passionate about things that are related to the schools, but we have guardrails that we have to follow. And when you read the rules and the laws, it becomes a little bit more cumbersome, and it's quite complicated in that regards. And then just with facilities planning, and everybody wants new schools and new upgrades, and the first thing is always that a school district isn't spending efficiently or isn't doing the things the right way, and everybody has an opinion, but it's all about education and continuing to inform the public and the people that are outside of the school district or might not be directly involved as to the whys behind things. And as long as we continue to explain that rationale, be transparent with the spending, as we always are, because our treasurer does a phenomenal job at sharing that information, and it's public record. So that needs to be able to continue. And and going back to just even your update on what we're doing from a facilities committee, and how we're not going there until November, I think it's just critical to understand a part of that process is because we're kind of handcuffed with what the auditor is going to be from updating their reappraisals not until January, and to have done all those, met those deadlines by December would not have been the right thing to do to make sure that the accurate information would be out there for the March election. And so that's why I think we'll have to come back in November and course correct at that point. So a lot that's shared, a lot that was absorbed, and again, the takeaway is that Canfield School District is not alone in the state of Ohio with all the challenges that school districts face. So,
Those are great reports.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a quick one. I went to multiple sessions as well, but I went to one about having a class at the high school on coaching kids how to be referees. And boy, is that interesting to me.
I saw that in the,
Yeah.
our update.
First of all, we don't have referees. We don't have enough of them, big time. And these kids that can work these, you can make some money. And the gentleman talked about that. If you work a basketball over the weekend or soccer, there's good opportunities. But more than that, it was what does refereeing give you as far as life type of experiences? And I referee a lot, and you get yelled at every now and then as a referee. And how do you deal with that as a high school kid? And those are good skills forever, because I get yelled at now. I'm 40-some years old, close to 40, see? And how you going to deal with that? So that really intrigued me. And I've talked to Dr. Potts about possibly looking at that as an elective moving forward. So we might see that at Canfield High School. So, quick report.
I think that would be great. I've done a lot of reading on that, a lot of our articles through our magazines that we get. That's been a focal point, and it not only teaches you the skill, but the communication piece as well, and how to communicate with students and adults, sideline adults. So I think that's good potential there. I'm going to turn this over now to Ms. Patty Prince for her financial update.
Okay, the cash summary report, this month we did receive our real estate settlement, so you'll notice the general fund balance is nice and healthy. I wish it could stay like that all year. Check payment register, there were 3 payrolls this month, so you'll see those, the first 3 line items, so that drives up the expense for the month. And there weren't a lot of checks written during this month as we were busy ordering. And The purchase orders, the new items start on page 19. Nothing really to point out there. Investment holdings, the rate in the money market, 5.65%, and that generated $98,000 for the month. So it was a good month for interest earnings. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that with the 5-year forecast, so later on. Anybody have any questions on the reports? Just a motion to
Just a
approve,
motion,
please.
Motion, Smallwood?
Second, Campbell.
Roll call.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes. At this time, we have one person who has signed up for public participation. Mr. Makia?
Good evening, Frank Makia. The school is doing a pretty good job of resource officer coverage. However, the elementary schools have a resource officer they share between the two schools. That means if there happens to be an incident, there's a 50% probability the officer would be there. Now, would we settle for the safety forces being available 50% of the time? No, we wouldn't. Why do we settle for our elementary students having resource officer prediction 50% of the time? It's something we should look seriously at. Now, admittedly, the possibility of an incident is small. The consequences are dire. It's something that I have a hard time justifying in my own mind. Now, school safety or safety of the students is your responsibility. I think you should look seriously at it. Let's close that loop and get all of our students a resource officer coverage. And I think we should provide that to all the students. We provide it to all the other students except the elementary schools. Let's close that loop. Thank you for your time, and once again, Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Makia.
Frank, I just want to tell you, I will miss you. Of all the people I've lamented for years, there's been school board meetings where there's been nobody in the room, like nobody. But Frank has been to almost as many meetings as I have. And I think that that's a very commendable thing that he's done, and he pays attention. In fact, we moved the meeting to this week so that he could also go to the city council meeting, which for a while was at the same time. So it's very commendable how involved Frank has been over the years.
Continue as long as I can.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. At this time, we are going to move on to new business.
Okay, so we have some personnel resignations. We have Megan Carroll, Hilltop kindergarten teacher, effective December 1 of 2023, Exhibit 1A. Some classified resignations, Elizabeth Buffkin, a Hilltop special needs aide, effective December 4th of 2023, and Brittany John, the Hilltop instructional aide, effective January 8th of 2024. Those in Exhibit 2. Some hiring of classified, Melissa Lamana, instructional aide at Hilltop, effective January the 8th of 2024, $15.77 an hour, 5.5 hours per day. And Miss Sophia Smith, a special needs aide at Hilltop, effective date pending her appropriate licensure and background checks at $15.77 an hour for 3.75 hours per day. And those are in Exhibit number 3. Some subs, we have Kim West and Melissa Jackson in Exhibit number 4. And also hiring our paraprofessionals to be reimbursed by the boosters, Nick Matausi, band paraprofessional at $15 per hour. And finally, our hiring of extracurriculars, that was resolution number 70-2024 and number 79-2024, exhibit number 5. All those individuals as presented.
Based on the recommendation of our superintendent, may I have a motion to accept the new business of personnel resignations, hirings classified, hiring substitutes, and paraprofessionals and extracurriculars, please?
So moved.
Second, Smallwood?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes?
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mr. Capular?
Okay, now we're rounding it out. We're coming back to Ms. Prince for the Finance Committee report that Mr. Wilkerson and Mr. Smallwood both sit on, and this has to do with our 5-year forecast.
Did you want to start, or you want me to start?
It's up to you.
Go ahead. All three.
Okay. So, what was it, Monday? Yeah, Monday we had,
Monday, yes.
yep, Monday. It's already Wednesday. Monday, we had our 5-year Finance Committee meeting, and we had reviewed the 5-year forecast. So, for everyone out there, you know, we look at this a couple times a year, right, Patty? 2 times a year. So we did it in May, and then we look at it again here in the month of November. So this was for the period fiscal years 2024 through 2028. And I had some notes here on that. So for the fiscal year 2024, we have a revenue surplus. So that's a good thing. You know, some of the positives for our cash flow as we look at our forecast is the interest rates that Ms. Prince was talking about. All our interest rates are north of 5% versus about 3% a year ago. The district, you know, contrary to maybe what other people think, the district has no investments whatsoever in anything except cash, which would make sense. And those accounts, like I said, are earning in excess of 5% given the current interest rate market, which is a great thing for a lot of businesses, but especially us, you know, as it helps that bottom line. Our interest, you know, is generating in excess of $1 million a year right now, which is, you know, a very good thing. In addition to the interest rate environment, you know, the district's going to see additional revenue generated from the non-voted inside millage as well. We'll see, you know, half of that in fiscal 2024 and half of that in fiscal 2025. That's because of the increase in the valuations, you know, for the property valuations that are coming next year. So that's, you know, a positive for the district there, and, you know, that will be, you know, somewhere similar to about $1 million a year. You know, eventually, as you look out on the forecast, you know, the forecast includes inflationary impacts. It also includes any contractual obligations that we've done. So increases with the contracts that have been negotiated, they're all built into this forecast. And the forecast started in fiscal 2025 will start to show, is starting to, you know, shows us a, you know, that we're entering deficit spending. And then that will continue to get larger every fiscal year thereafter through 2028. So, you know, eventually at some point we're going to need to look at increasing revenue or decreasing expenses, you know, as we're, you know, but we have time because we have a cash surplus sitting that's been, you know, generated over the years from just, you know, solid, good fiscal management from your administration and the treasurer, Patty Prince. You know, we've been able to maintain ourselves with no new monies in the district for, is it 13 years it's been? 13 years, which is pretty impressive. I think the average is somewhere between 8 to 10, maybe. But the fact that we've been able to pull it off for 13 and we probably still have a few more years to go is a testament to the management of our school system from a fiscal standpoint, as well as the talents of, you know, Ms. Prince as our treasurer, who we're lucky to have as well. So, but at some point, we're gonna need to look at this because the monies that we have aren't gonna last forever, from prior surpluses that we've had. So, this is something that we're gonna have to watch closely here over the next few years. That's all I had.
I just wanted to add a couple things. One, we looked at what that increase is going to be due to the valuation. I think everybody's going to be, all the people that were concerned about these giant 30% increases and so forth, that's not coming to fruition, as we said numerous times over the past however many months it was. So I think those people at least will be surprised by the small increase in their taxes. I think the other thing that we spent some time talking about was open enrollment. This comes up a lot where people talk about, well, why don't we do open enrollment to make money for Canfield schools? And the reality is, if we, because of, and it's complicated, but because we participate in something called the state guarantee, because frankly, the funding of public schools in Ohio is such a disaster, we're sort of locked into this certain amount of money that we just keep getting because the formulas that they come up with are so much lower than what we would get last year. And so they have this concept called a guarantee that they just keep giving us that same amount that we got last year. Well, changes to this open enrollment situation, if we were to do open enrollment and we were to bring in any new students under open enrollment, we would get $0. Zero. So all it would be more expenses, more students, and absolutely no more money. So, there really is no argument whatsoever for open enrollment in Canfield. So, I think that was the only other thing I wanted to point out.
I really don't have anything else to add, other than, I will miss those two. They are
Okay.
very knowledgeable on school finance.
We're going to miss you too, Patty. We've had a lot of fun.
I think so.
You want a motion, right, Ms. Treasurer? Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
May I have a motion, please, to adopt the 5-year forecast?
So moved.
Second, Smallwood.
Any discussion? Any questions from the board? It was very thorough.
Thank you, yeah.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we have a couple out-of-state overnight field trips. Exhibit number 7, our bowling team traveling to Centerville, Ohio, participating in a bowling tournament on January 12th and 13th, providing travel and lodging paid by an outside organization. And our middle school 5th grade students going to Camp Fish, North Springfield, PA, for an outdoor experience, May 22nd to the 24th, providing lodging is paid by an outside organization. Exhibit 7B.
Okay, based on the recommendation of our superintendent, may I have a motion to approve our out-of-state field trips as presented?
So moved. Campbell.
Second.
Discussion? Actually, I had a quick question, and it doesn't have to do with either one of these, but how did the senior trip go?
Oh, it went
To
very
New
well.
York?
Yes, to New
I
York.
heard it was fantastic.
I saw pictures.
Fantastic,
So-
yeah.
My son was a part of it. And so,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
so-
Mr. Rubin said it was awesome.
Yes,
Great.
our seniors went to New York for a senior trip, and this was last week?
Last weekend.
Yeah, that's
Yes, so,
Yeah, because
And it
they
was-
missed an experience because of COVID
correct.
when they were in middle school.
When they were-
So this
right,
was
their
a
makeup
makeup,
trip.
yeah.
And we can't forget, since my daughter's a junior, they missed theirs too. So there's hopefully one more year of that.
Another New York trip in the future.
My daughter
She
told
wrote
me
that
I
down.
needed to make sure that I
Okay,
mentioned
all
Before-
right, well,
Nah,
now we
well
have that on the
played.
record.
Yeah, yeah.
May I have-
Is that in the minutes?
Yeah, it's going
okay.
in the
the official minutes need to reflect. We need
Okay
one
on that.
more trip.
See if we can
Roll
talk
call,
Mr. Rubin
please.
into that one more year.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
You can be chaperone, by the way. I'd like to adopt policy 0164, notice of meetings revised, found in exhibit number 8.
Based on the recommendation of our superintendent, may I have a motion to adopt policy 0164, which includes notice of meetings?
So moved.
Second,
Any
Campbell.
discussion? Any vital revision that we need to do?
Mr. Vito, anything vital in there?
There's nothing new in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a
So then
requirement.
why is it a revision?
What did they added? Of the early one. Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend approving resolution number 80-2024 to request the ESC of Eastern Ohio initiate a transfer of property to the Canfield Schools, exhibit number 9.
Based on the recommendation of our superintendent, may I have a motion to adopt resolution 80-2024?
So moved.
Second, Smallwood.
Any discussion?
What's that all about?
So I was called to the auditor's office months ago, actually, with my colleague from Boardman, and the auditor's office realized they had some properties miscoded and asked that Mr. Saxton and I get that rectified. So this is a process I've used in our ESC to do a territory transfer. But actually, this is really good news for Canfield.
Are these boundary issues?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
So no action needed, but Ohio Revised Code requires me to announce, we're going to talk about our school calendar in the next 30 days, and we are. I actually initiated that process tonight with the union, and my sincere hope is to have a final calendar for you in the month of January. That's my hope.
That would be nice.
That's my hope, okay? And speaking of January, I'd like to talk to you about setting an organizational meeting. I mentioned a couple of updates about using Wednesday, January the 10th. So we'd have the organizational meeting to start and then follow up with our regular board meeting. Because as you know, by law, we're required to have that organizational meeting within the first 15 days of the month. So if everybody's okay with that, we'll go with the 10th.
Oh, does that look good for everybody?
Everybody okay?
That's
January 10th?
And that's the 5 o'clock start.
I have 6 here.
Oh.
I have
I
6.
thought that was the one that,
Well, 5 o'clock for pictures.
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna take some pictures that night. We're gonna get
And
a
let's
team.
reiterate, I will be sending out a reminder to everybody that that will be picture night.
Picture night, yes. Okay.
That way, it's a pain to have yourself photoshopped in, just FYI.
Well played.
Been there.
Well
That
played.
didn't work for you?
So, no, it didn't.
Good job.
Okay. Sorry. That was almost at this point, we do need to appoint
Yeah,
then
we need
for
to
that
have to
meeting.
get it started, yes.
Need to appoint a president pro tem for the organizational meeting. I'm going to appoint Mr. Atway. President pro tem, will you take that responsibility on, Mr. Atway?
I will.
Let's vote on that. I'm so sorry.
I don't think
I don't
we need
think
an
so.
actual
Okay.
vote on that. Nope, just
Okay.
keep that in the minutes. Okay, so number 9, to approve membership in OSBA for 2024 for $7,159 plus a subscription to the School Management News.
So moved.
Second.
Excuse me, any discussion, please?
No.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Donations.
I know, I just gotta find
Tracy's
Oh, donate.
Here they
it. Oh,
come.
gosh, thank you.
Hard copy.
Okay, at this time, I would like to read our donations. We have quite the list this time. Excuse me. The Capalco family, $100 towards the CVMS Playground Beautification Project. We have Ohio Pile Prints, $92, that is going to the High School Principals Fund. Gene Haas Foundation, $2,500 going to the Jets Club. Canfield PTA, $2,775.81 going to the Hilltop Outdoor Rug. Okay. Nader and I am Atway, $100 for the CHF Craft Show concessions. Farmers National Bank, $100 for the CH Craft Show basket auction. Excuse me. David and Deanna Griswold and Heather and Timothy Bauman, both $100 for the CVMS Playground Beautification Project, as well as Neil and Vanessa McDonald and Robert Lane $100 and $250 respectively for the playground beautification project. The Dapolito family and Lunsford's family, $25 each for the CHS craft show. Okay, the following are going all to speech and debate fund. Catherine and Mark Geisler, $100. Stephen Robbins and Jennifer Manning, $250. Tri-State Lung and Sleep Associates, $100. Zachary and Laura Van Brocklin, $100. Sisters Cupboard and Closet, $250. James and Kimberly Gilbert, $100. Patricia DeRosa, James and Kimberly Gilbert, $100. Also, Peter and Vereda Behid, $100. Gary and Lucy Kearns, $250. Animal Medical Care Center, $100. Buckeyes and More LLC, $20. Also for speech and debate, Nicolini's Chop House, $500. Asif Khan and Shameen Faruqi, $500. Stephen Abel, $250. And Wilson Lane Farm, $100. All of the following going to the Canfield players. Joanne and Robert Weber, $50. Faisal and Catherine Bawa, $500. Paul and Jennifer Cadillac, $50. David Vernon, $500. Christopher and Carrie Hall, $50. Nicholas and Anissa Matarelli, $200. CMDI LLC, $100. Elishek Dental, $100. And Erica Richley Duda, $100. The Canfield Rotary Association, $360 to Interact Club. We have an anonymous donation of $1,000 to the Hilltop Library Fund, and the Simons family, $40 to the Hilltop Library Fund. Buckeyes and More, LLC, $20 to the CHF Craft Show. Coca-Cola Give, $35.38 to the CHS Principals Fund. That'll do it. And that brings us to a grand cash total donation of $13,136.98. Bringing our total donations thus far for 2023 from July to December, $40,000 to $255.97. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And we thank everyone for their donations. And may I have a motion to accept as presented?
So moved. Campbell?
Second.
Any discussion here? A roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Smallwood?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes. And at this time, if there is no more discussion, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Smallwood.
Oh, you gotta give the honors
Oh,
to
sorry.
these two.
Go ahead, man.
Come on. Nader,
I'll
quit
I'll
jumping.
take
And
that
motion.
back, sorry.
Take us out, Mr. Wilkerson, Mr. Smallwood.
Motion to adjourn. Smallwood?
Second. Wilkerson.
And we're out.
Aye. Thank you. There you go. Can I get a pen to sign these? Give the pen.
You know what they say about owning a boat?